That was fascinating.
Yeah, what's it like for listening back to it for you again? Because often when you listen back, you hear stuff you didn't notice during the live record.
Oh no, I noticed everything on the first pass. I'm good like that.
Mm.
But yeah, just I think I don't think the media has look. They might be in the process of it. You know, but we can react a lot quicker than they can. Say
Because we're nimble and
because we're
independent.
nimble, we're agile, we have good workflow. Look, the lamestream media might be digging into this now as we speak, but I think the real scoop there is just blowing straight past. I have a family association. Blah blah blah. I don't actually know too much about what goes on, and these two come on and go, "Oh yeah, no, we know people who know him, and that's bullshit." It's spectacular.
And look, I kind of get it from a level of, let's just look at religion, forget what cult or whatever, like even the word Christian. I mean, Luxon tries to run away from it because it doesn't ring true or smart or whatever with the voting base, because we're not a religious country. And if all he was doing was running away from it because it's not good for a vote, sure, fine, I get it. But it seems, and look, we'll be careful with what we know here and what we say about what we know, because we're just kind of getting tidbits from people behind the scenes. Is he knows more than he's letting on, Hamish Campbell. Now, he may say that's for the privacy of others. He may say it's personal, private. And let me be very, very clear. At no point have I heard from anybody who has any implications towards Hamish Campbell in any kind of illegal activity. Mm-hmm. So let's make that very clear. When we say, it seems from what we're being told that he knows people sort of who are in that world, who are either being accused of or victims of. At no point has anyone said to me or said to us that Hamish Campbell is in either of those camps. I want to make that really, really clear. Now, putting that to the side, if someone was involved in an organization that had an incredibly high percentage of pedophilia in it, and they had some knowledge of the level of pedophilia that was in it, and they did nothing about it, that's another whole conversation altogether. Could you imagine how people on the right would explode if a Green member was a part of a group that had a significant and proven, if you look at Australia, for example, high proportion number of pedophiles in that group? Can you imagine how Plunkett would explode if a Labour Party MP was not keen to talk about an affiliation he or she had with a group that had a high percentage of convicted pedophiles in it that remained in it after the group after they were convicted? Can you just imagine? And that's why last week we thought, well, let's ask this question. All of those people who are becoming apoplectic around Benjamin Doyle based on internet sleuthing and blue squiggles, all we said is, are you going to ask any questions about this, whether it's a tacit connection or not? And I'll say it again. I have heard nowhere, and we are not accusing Hamish Campbell of any illegal activity. But could you imagine those people, what they would have been saying if it had been reversed? And where I'm just interested to see how much and how many of those people, they just Twitter people who like to have big voices, or independent broadcasters who like to get millions of dollars of funding for sharing their particular right-wing view, are going to do at the very least just ask some questions. Chewie, we're just asking questions. We're just asking questions. Seems there's no questions now. That's one of the things. Obviously, I'm interested in the safety of children in any convicted pedophilia type world, and I'm concerned about that. However, also I'm really interested to see how the side of politics, who last week it was all about the kids, if there was a hint, if there was a sniff on the wind of any kind of wrongdoing that anyone could possibly be associated with, they were on their moral high horses, fucking as on their back legs going as hard as they could, and now silence. Now, there may be nothing to see here. But last week, I'm just asking questions. Why the fuck aren't you just asking questions now? That's my question.